Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Let's try that one more time without the stall. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Is the phone gonna work this time? Come on, phone. Sorry, folks, I was washing my hands again. All right, here we go. When you start to brighten other people's world with a smile, all of a sudden the world brightens up around you. It's like reciprocal. It's so interesting, and it's something in psychology that I don't want to talk about more because I don't have the studies in front of me, but it's something about us having a good attitude and keeping a good attitude around the people that we are having or around with that makes us so much better at whatever we want to do. Let's stop fighting beliefs. Stop fighting beliefs, and let's try to find common ground. We're all on this planet together. According to statistics, it's the person who's mediocre that actually advances further. I'm more interested in the top 10 richest men in the world, you know, and Bezos, who I can't get over this joke. I've been saying this joke, and if somebody says it on the Oscars, you know what I'm saying? The man can get divorced and is still the richest man in the she took half and he's still richest man. Come on, Bezos, you got this. All right. You know what time it is, folks. That's right. It's time for more In the Hot Box with Doc Rio. And we are back today with today's lesson, which is from yesterday's rant. It's called Double Down. Double Down is the lesson, and I have to apologize. I was a little tardy today. Got back a little late, and then rebooting and set up, and it just, nothing wanted to work, of course. But, of course, I plowed through it like I always talk about, and you know, it doesn't matter if it doesn't want to work, I'm going to figure out a way to get it to work. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things. And I mean, the worst case scenario is that everything breaks down completely and nothing works at all. So if that happens, then, well, you know, I just have to pull out the phone and get it to work, and then I'll be on the phone doing it live, you know? So it's always going to be something. I prefer to do it with all the tools. That way, if I do it with all the tools, I said prefer, not bird. But I would prefer to do it with all the tools. And as long as I do it with all the right tools, then it usually comes out right. So, you know, that's another thing. You might notice that now that I have the closed captioning, the mic is more in my face because this is a dynamic mic. And one of the things about a dynamic mic, it's directional. It's pretty much directional. It cuts out all the background noise, and it pretty much only takes in what's right in front of it. So I'm probably going to be switching up mics here again for the sake of the closed captioning in the future. You know, but that's, you know, further on down the line. Until then, you know, we'll work on what we got and make it go. So with that being said, stay tuned. We're going to come right back with Double Down, talking about what you should do after assessing your progress. What is the next step? You know, I mean, after you've started with the climb up and you've gone ahead and accepted so you can accept to advance. And then once you've accept to advance, you've taken action, take action. And then once you've taken action, you assessing your progress, assess progress. So now we're going to jump into double down. What does it mean to double down? We'll be right back with that in just a moment, right after a word from our sponsor. Look at us up on Doc Rio TV. All right. We're right back. And when we talk about doubling down, let's just start out with, you know what time it is, folks. That's right. It's time for more In the Hot Box with Doc Rio. Those who are just tuning in, we're here today talking about doubling down. And what does it mean to double down after you've gotten through some steps and gotten to a point of understanding what you're doing, where you're going, and the progress that you've made? What do we mean by double down? You know, well, only way I can really get into that is by getting all the way into the lesson. So let's just get that started right now. And there we go. So with that being said, we're back with the 12 steps to multimedia success, and we're going to jump into this lesson. This lesson is all about Come on, play the next slide. Oh, no. Doubling down. Now, if you like what you see in this particular broadcast, go ahead and smash that follow button. And if you really want to hear more about what we do here at Doc Rio TV, just go ahead and push that bell for future notifications. Then you start to see some of the variety show and how we're going to be changing the variety show, and still having my rant on, you know, Sunday, and then what I'm going to do on Monday. But we're going to start adding some other features to the show. So stay tuned for that. And as well as if you're on YouTube and you like what you hear, just go ahead and smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to click that bell for future notifications. And Periscope, go ahead and follow us on Periscope. Now, with that being said, all these tags, you can find my social media. It's all over the place. All right. That's not the important part. The important part is doubling down. And the reason why that's so much more important, because you got to hear this. You got to hear this. Once you've taken these steps, once you've started to say, okay, now it's time for me to climb up. I've got my stuff out there. I want to do this business. I'm at home right now. And maybe you've been a person who doesn't have a job anymore because of this pandemic. Maybe you're a person that's been thinking about doing something creative, and now you're kind of semi-laid off, but you're still at home getting paid, but you want to do something creative and you want to slap it out there, and you don't know how to really get motivated to do so. You know what I'm saying? You know, some of the motivation that would have been like stuff to prequel you to stuff like this pandemic is what I put in back to the basics. But this is after the basics. This is after you've gotten past that point of saying, okay, I'm ready to do it. Now, what do I do? All right. And so the first thing you want to do is start climbing up. The next thing you want to do is basically accept your situation. You know, not you said, okay, yeah, I want to climb up. I don't want to just sit here. I want to do something. So you start climbing up, and you got to accept the situation first. Look, whether you be out of a job, whether you be laid off, whether you're sitting at home waiting to start your job again and don't like the job you're in, this is really for you. This is really for that type of person. Hey, I want to make a change in my life. So if I want to make a change in my life, I've got to accept the situation I'm in so that I can advance. And then once you've accepted, you got to start taking action. So if you haven't heard any of these lessons, just go back a little bit. Go back a little bit. You can start checking on these lessons. If you're looking on YouTube, you can check it out on YouTube. I've been putting them out there. I don't think I put Accept to Advance out yet, which I'll be putting out this week. And then after Accept to Advance, we're going to jump into, I did put Accept to Advance. I don't think I put Take Action out there this week. So after Take Action is out this week, then you'll be able to get assess progress. And I don't know why. Well, I know why. Because that's just my tongue saying excess. I don't know why I'm twisting the two up, but assess progress, not access progress. Assess your progress is what I'm really pointing to. And that'll be the next lesson the following week that I put up on the boards. But I wanted a little delay so that I can figure out if this is going to work right with the other processes and channels that we're going to be putting in. So I needed a little bit of space so I can start working on building in the other channels and building in the other shows. So with that being said, I'm doubling down as well. You see what I'm saying? So in the process of me doubling down, I've had to back up a little bit. I started early. I want to double down. And for me to double down, it takes a few things. Just like everybody else, it takes for me to get out there and invest in myself. Yes, indeed. Got to invest in yourself. If you don't invest in yourself, you can't double down. So, first of all, now that you've assessed the situation, access. Why am I doing that? Now that you have assessed the situation and you figured out exactly where you want to go, what you need to do, or the things that you need to do, I'm sure you're going to figure out that you need to invest a little bit more money to make it easier or make it more, I want to say proficient, but more, you know what I mean? If you got the right tools in play, then things work in play, and then you don't have bottlenecks. You'll hear me talk about that a lot. Bottlenecks will cause you issues. I had a big bottleneck before I got online today, and so it cost me 20 some odd minutes to get online today. You know what I mean? There's going to be bottlenecks all the time. There's always going to be some kind of bottleneck. You know what I mean? And my bottleneck was I got back tardy. That was my own bottleneck. You know what I mean? I had some stuff to do, and I was doing too much. You know? But like I said, I'm attempting to prepare more for the show. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that I've gotten played to try to get these things going. And sometimes you run out of time and you've got to do other things. You know, that's the difficult part about being a host/producer. You know, you can't wear both hats at the same time sometimes. But then again, you can't, you know. So you just got to sometimes do things later. Sometimes do things earlier. Sometimes you just don't make it at all. You know, you gotta cut the day and figure out something else. Especially when, you know, somebody like me was talking about getting a degree. You know, so I've been investing in myself the whole time. I've been investing in myself because I know I'm a winner. All right. You know what I'm saying? Like, people will be like, oh, yeah, you're a winner. But no. I know that sometimes I lose in areas that I'm unsure of. But I know overall, I'm a 90%er. You know what I'm saying? I may not be 95 all the time. I may not be 100% all the time on everything that I get done. But I will get you 90% of the way there. And you got to figure out the rest. And anybody will tell you, I will always get you at least 90% of the way there because that's what kind of person I am. That's what kind of, if you look at my GPA, that's generally speaking, I'm in the 90% or 90 to 95%ers. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Of GP, I mean, not of GPAs, but of how my GPA is, which puts me in the 5 to 10% of the class. You know what I'm saying? And this is something I'm regularly, you know, I'll do a lot of stuff, but I can't do it all because I'm doing so many things as well. You know what I mean? So for you, I can only show you the way. I can't teach you anything. Thank you, Victor Wooten. That book's over there. I can't teach you anything. I can show you what you need to do, and it's up to you to teach yourself. You see what I'm saying? To learn in that sense. To learn whether or not it works for you, or to learn whether or not it doesn't work for you. And so you got to try the effort, and you got to invest in yourself. Like I've doubled down myself as well. I bought some lessons to see something. You know, part of my research has to do with comparing my knowledge of things and what I know about this industry and the development of this industry with what other people know of the development of this industry and what other people see in the development of this industry. I've got to try just as hard to pay attention to that as well. You see what I'm saying? Because if I don't pay attention to that part of the industry, then what happens is we don't get new and improved information. We get old information. We get old Doc Rio knowledge. See, I've got to keep up and keep certifying myself in knowledge that is out there in the industry. And there's so much more. There's so much more that is not being tapped on. You know, I mean, yes, I hate the fact of broadcasting on Windows. You didn't see me too late. You didn't see me late that often when it came to Macintosh. Because whenever I booted something on Macintosh, it worked. It came up. It did what it did. And no matter how I see it, there are certain programs I'm going to have to broadcast with on PC. And I am running a little bit too much on this one PC. I always do. I always run too much on any machine. I'm just pretty overbearing on machines. But, you know, I mean, so with that being said, you know, I mean, most of you won't have all this stuff on your first go around. You know what I mean? This is my first year on Mixer. This is how I'm stepping out. I'm stepping out by making my stuff because I know I can build all this stuff. I'm investing, not only am I investing money, I'm investing time and energy. You see what I'm saying? I'm in here putting my head to the dome, putting my head to the wax, writing down stuff, making slides, making these lessons, not only making these lessons, looking for new content. I mean, if you look at my face right now, I'm breaking out because I'm stressing. I'm stressing over what I'm doing, not over the money I'm making, because I'm okay. I'm okay. A lot of people are hurting right now, but I'm okay. You see what I'm saying? I'm okay because I've taken steps in advance to be okay, way before this pandemic. You know what I mean? Now, of course, it's going to take us about 3 years. You know, I was talking to my mom, and I don't even know if she's right. I think it was 3 years. I don't know if we were both could be wrong. But if you really want to know, the Spanish influenza took about, it took about 3 years. You know, look it up. Check it out. Check it out. If I'm wrong, write it in the comments below. Tell me that I'm wrong on that one. You know what I mean? Tell me how long it actually took for the world to recover. Now, we're more advanced, but still, do you think it's going to take us 6 months to recover from a virus that we still can't figure out dang, kids with Kawasaki? No, they got coronavirus. We still can't figure out what the disease is doing. You see what I'm saying? They trying to say, oh yeah, we know exactly what the disease is doing, but they don't know. They don't know what this virus is doing. Not disease, this virus. Just like they didn't know what the Spanish influenza would do. They knew it was the flu, but they didn't understand it. And it wiped out people. It took people time to recover. And people are screaming and shouting, oh, I need to get out in public and, you know, this would be a perfect time. See, that other show that I like to do has a lot of footage and has good reporters going out and doing stuff like reporting on people standing in front of the mayor's house and protesting and their feelings about this. And, you know, I don't want to negate anybody's feelings on it, but I do want to say that I hope they're looking at the bigger picture. Not just the fact that it's a beautiful day, or not just the fact that, you know, you might not have it, and how close you're standing to other people, and how their droplets could give it to you. And I just don't, I don't know, man. My mom said to me something. She said something about back in the 40s and the 50s, when it was a depression and things were really bad, people were going off to war. And there's a lot of people who won't even take a sacrifice to fight for this country, but yet and still they'll go and stand in front and protest in front of the mayor's house because they have to stay at home and not get a haircut. They have to stay at home and not get their nails done. They have to stay at home and figure out a new way to run their business. That's compelling to me. That's really shocking to me. And, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to negate somebody's feelings because this is a free country. This is what they feel, but it is just shocking to me. A person like me who has been in the military, who has had my privileges taken away. A person like me who's actually been to jail and had my privileges taken away. I lost a year of my life in jail for something I didn't do, and my privileges were taken away. And for a person like me who have constantly had privileges taken away because of the color of my skin. And so when I look at that and go, wow, I see a lot of spoiled people in America. I see a lot of people who need to wake up and use your time and energy more wisely. Use your time and energy by taking it and investing it in yourself. Not investing it in a protest. Not investing it in causing more noise and havoc and raining more hell down upon our nation, our city in the middle of a pandemic. I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know. I don't think people are really thinking. I think sometimes we get caught up in our own world, and I understand. There's this other side of it. Our mental health is at stake. Yes, right now our mental health is at stake. Many of you are struggling, trying to stay balanced in this pandemic, and that might be the way you stay balanced. So that's why I don't want to negate that. That might be your balancing act to go out there and do that, but I can see several more things that are much more constructive that would make you more money, put more in your pocket so that after this pandemic, you can step out and enjoy a sail on a boat. Why just go to the beach when you could have the ocean? It's the concept when you can have an island. It's these concepts. I want to buy an island. I want to buy an island. I want to live long enough so that I'm an old man in a wheelchair carting around my art island. That is the Amir Rollins Institute, which stands for art because it's all about art and creativity and performance and visual and performing arts. Let's just put it down. And I want to go be able to move around my wheelchair, probably electric wheelchair, because I'm an electric type of guy, and get around my electric wheelchair and look and be like, wow, that's a nice painting you got. Oh, hey, Charlie, that's a nice lick you did over there on the bassoon. I like that. Hey, I like this movie you're playing in the theater right here. You did a good job. Anywhere from 18 and up. I want to say 18 and up because I don't want anything that has to do with people thinking that my island is for kids and some weird stuff happens. You know what I'm saying? I'll be an old black man and they'll be attacking. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest and real. You know what I mean? Because there are people who have been, I was an activist when I was a little kid. So there are people who have been watching me since I was a little kid on videotape. They had us on Little Kid standing in front of the South African consulate, recording us, the FBI and the CIA. So I've been on tape for a long time, and I joined the military. So they know everything about me. So there's no way of hiding. If they wanted to take me down or do something to make my whole world change, you know what I'm saying? If there were people who consistently wanted to do that, they would do that. And, I'd rather it be, hey, I'd rather it be something to where, hey, I know it's not something with children because I love children too much. I don't have any children, but you know what I mean? I love the idea that, children are our next leaders. You know what I mean? They're easiest to shape our minds. It's so hard to talk to adults. I fight so hard every day to talk to adults about what we should be doing. I fight so hard with myself to talk to myself about what I should be doing. So I know how hard it is. And people are like, oh, you mean you talk to yourself? Yeah, I talk to my council of people who tell me it's basically like talking to yourself if you think about it. If I talk to a council of great minds, a council of a board of counselors, you know what I mean? And these board, it's an imaginary board of counselors. Essentially, I'm talking to myself, but I'm working out dilemmas with the respect of understanding what these great leaders would do or these great individuals would do in that situation. It's like people walking around and they're like, oh, I'm so pissed off, but what would Jesus do? I've seen it. They've said it to themselves right out loud. So people do that all the time. We are human beings, and sometimes, even though we might not be auditory learners, we might be auditory learners as well. I'd say that there's a certain percentage of our learning that does come from what we hear or what we feel through vibrations or what we sense off of people. So, it'd be kinesthetic, auditory, and visual. You know what I'm saying? So some of us, unfortunately, don't have the ability to pick up that auditory range of things. They might feel some of the vibrations, but that becomes kinesthetic now. They feel the auditory vibrations, but they can feel the presence of it kinesthetically. So they've had to double down on their kinesthetics or double down on their visual. And some people have had to double down on their auditory and double down on their kinesthetics. And unfortunately, some people have had to double down, triple down on one. Hard to say, hard to think about. But yes, we are living in a world that we should always think about each other. Like it says in that book back there, The Richest Man in Babylon, the one that's on top, the one I did last week in Assess Your Progress. It says something about how we need to think, if we're gonna avoid having a lean purse, we need to think about those who are infirmed, and we need to help those who are infirmed and help those who have been stricken and help those who need our assistance, who are elderly. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, I was talking to my mom yesterday, and I'm like, what would my mom really want me to do? What would she want me to do, on Mother's Day for her? She want me to come by and help her set up some stuff, and I can't come by and do that. Why? Because I need to go get tested and make sure that I clear the test, and even if I clear the test, by the time I go from the test to her, I can actually carry it to her. You see what I'm saying? By the time I go from getting the test to waiting on a response from the test to leaving to go to her house to help her set up, I could actually carry COVID-19. And I'm worried about that. I don't want to give it to my mom. I want my mom, but I don't want to miss out on life with my mom, especially now after we spent years getting stuff back together. So I've got to invest more time in figuring out how, and more energy, how to do these things in this scenario, which, basically gives me mixed feelings about this pandemic. But we'll talk more about my mixed feelings in this pandemic, because when you start to invest time and money, and when you start to invest all your energy, guess what happens? You all know this. You all know this. The people you love, the people you care about, the people you want to be around more. And I'm glad I don't have this problem. I am shocked. I think there's a reason why, but haters gonna hate. I mean, I got haters, don't get me wrong, but I'm going to tell you about the haters. All right, let's talk about the haters. And I think that's important that we talk about the haters, because I saw this article on Medium.com, and I thought it was interesting. I thought it went well with this lesson. I saw it today, as a matter of fact. And it was talking about haters. It's talking about the 5 types of haters. It's on Medium.com. I'm going to give you the link. Actually, matter of fact, I'll drop the link in the description right now, in the chat right now. It's on Medium.com. So all you got to do all you got to do is you can go to medium.com or I mean, as well, that's a link, but this is the link to the story. That's the link on medium.com that you can go down the list and look at them yourself. I've set it up to talk to you a little bit about the 5 types of haters real quick on this particular lesson. So you can watch it here, or you can go to the website, or you can do both at the same time. I just want to give you all the freedom. I did not get the name of the person. Let me see if I can find that real quick. I don't think it says. It just says Psychology Behind, and it says check this out. But it doesn't say who actually wrote this. So I don't know. Wait, it does. Written by Psychology Behind. So thank you, Psychology Behind, for putting this out there. I like this. This was a good little story here. You know what I mean? Okay, so there's 5 types of haters, right? 5 types of haters. And with these 5 types of haters, comes their names. Let's give them to you real quick. There are 5 types. Oops, did I not push the button? I want to make sure. Okay. The angry hater. They usually always got something to say about what you're doing. Now, disclaimer, I got these pics free off of Google, and they were the ones that said that you can use and free to use to, what does it say? Let me make sure I say that. Images. They're the free you can use or reuse for redistribution. You can use the tool to do that. I'll show you how to do that a little bit later. But let me just say that I don't know what's really going on in these situations. I mean, except for the TV show. I mean, the movie. But the movie over here, water up. But the angry hater always has something to say about what you're doing. They're always got something bad to say about it. Oh, no, that's not going to work. Oh, you terrible. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're doing. That kind of stuff. The angry hater is the hater you just don't want to deal with. I mean, I know that hater. We all know that hater. We don't want to deal with that hater, right? Right? Then you got the silent hater. The silent hater is a little dangerous because the silent hater is kind of stalky. You don't know. They know a lot about you. They know enough about your life. They may be a friend, but not really that close of a friend. And they kind of know enough to watch you from afar and kind of stalk you. Now, I know I got some of them. I mean, I'm cool with them. You know what I'm saying? I think the best part about the people who do stalk me is that I think they think I'm pretty cool. I don't think they want to kill me, but you never know. You never know. If they want to kill me, they'll probably let me know though. Because I'm trying to be cool with everybody. So that's just my thing. That's that thing. Keep a PMA. Keep a PMA because you never know when you got a silent hater around who is just hating on you and wants to destroy your life. Selena had one right there with her, working with her. Rest in peace, Selena. Now, the one-up hater. The one-up hater. Now, I done been that hater. You can't help it sometimes. You just around people, you just want to one-up them. You just want to, you know them well. You've been hanging with them well. You just want to one-up them. And sometimes you have that competition with people. Some of us do have that competition with people where we do like to do the one-upper thing. It's important to understand that and know that about ourselves. But, sometimes at the dinner table with family, when you got people of mixed relations, mixed races, mixed relations, mixed sexual orientations, sometimes one-upping is just not the place. One-upping, is left for, the after dinner special. Y'all can one up in another room somewhere. Right? Right? All right. I got to get that new chair soon. I ain't going to tell you where I'm getting it from, but my leg's starting to act funny because of this chair. So this chair is dead. It's dead. It's good 10 years, and I got to invest in myself so that I can continue to do this better for y'all. So, I got to get that new chair, but, I got to wait till, I think the beginning of the month before I can really put it down because it's expensive. It's expensive, and you know, I'm not telling you it's a brand yet. You know, it's a name. It's a name brand, and it's a gamer. It's a bucket chair. It's a bucket seat. It's a gamer chair. So, you know, I'm just not telling you which brand first, but you know, I will tell you it's got a hold of some rights that I like. So that's all I gotta say. Anyway, now the one upper hater. See, I was one upping. Because I'm like, it's got a hold of some rights that I like. You know what I mean? That's some stuff like there. I'm one upping hating on people who got chairs. You know, and I'm like, no, I don't like theirs. I want this chair because I really like this particular style of chair, and it actually says a lot to have this chair. You know, I'm one upping. You know what I mean? So, you know, I mean, also next. Number 4, the know-it-all hater. I forgot I put him there. Oh, he was supposed to be just I wasn't supposed to leave him in there. He was just supposed to be a placeholder. But Donald Trump, he's a know-it-all hater. I mean, the thing he did with the CDC, holding it back, the reopening procedures, you know, things like that, saying it's not going to see the light of day because I know better on how to reopen this country and how to make money back in this country. It's a know-it-all hater syndrome. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to actually use him because I don't want to get political about it. But, I mean, he's got that syndrome. Be honest, I've had that syndrome too. You know, you can probably tell because I give classes like this, sometimes I'll be in people's chat and I'm talking about something and I might mess it up too. I might make mistakes too. Usually when I'm doing this lesson, I'm pretty much researching the information, but, you know, when I'm in chat, I might say something off the side and be like, ooh, you know what, that wasn't right afterwards because, you know, I done forgot more of what I know. I'm a know-it-all. You know, I game recognize game. I can recognize when a know-it-all trying to tap dance. I ain't trying to tap dance no more. I'm trying to be straight on point. And so if I'm tap dancing because I really did mess up, you know. And I really did mess up by leaving him in there. So, but, I mean, game recognized game. I know a know-it-all hater, you know, and he's hating. He's hating on a lot of people from that perspective. But then you got the best friend hater. The best friend hater. And you see, I did put this in here, you know, like they're having fun and everything, but the best friend hater would actually hit you hard right there. Would actually hit you hard because they mad at you about something. They hating on you about something. Or the best friend hater is the only person that you would allow to actually hit you hard like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, you might be the toughest dude in your neighborhood or the toughest woman in your neighborhood or the toughest individual in your neighborhood or the toughest person in your neighborhood. I don't know which way a person wants to be called, but you know what I'm saying? Just be honest. You know, anybody can receive this anyway. You know, but you might be the toughest person in your neighborhood, and you got a best friend that just ain't good for you, but they the same one that walk up to you and hit you hard, or you know what I mean, or do messed up stuff to you. You know what I'm saying? And that's that kind of world. You know what I mean? The best friend hater is that close one that is really close, that knows a lot about you and can just with a word change your whole life because they have influence over you. You know what I'm saying? And the know-it-all hater is kind of like that too. That's why I put these two hater types together, because usually a know-it-all hater is somebody you really know, and you know they know it all, and you know they're going to give you a long spill. You know they're going to give you a long spill when you ask them a question. And then once you get the question, you know it's going to be the right answer, but you're still going to be like, man, I don't want to do it because he said it was because he's a know-it-all. And then, you know what I'm saying? So it's happened to me too. I've done the same thing with some of my mentors. I'm like, they were right. They were right. Because I know they know. You know what I mean? But I want to do it my way. We always want to do it our way, right? So, you know, and especially as a know-it-all hater, I don't want to say a know-it-all hater because I don't really like to be a hater on people's stuff with know-it-all, because I find that when you do stuff like that, situations can arise, and specific situations can arise where you deter people down the wrong road and you discourage people from blossoming, you know, and discouragement can lead to a number of things. You don't know their past. You don't know their history. You don't know what they've been doing. And like I said, that's the reason why I didn't want to put his face there, because I don't really know what's going on in his mind. He might be hurting up there. You know what I mean? He might have to fake a fraud to do his job up there. Who knows? But I didn't pick the job. You did, bro. So, Maxine Waters told me when I was young that I'd be the first black president. Ha! I ran from that job. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Because that's not my mentality. I did not want to take that type of job. I don't mind being in the public eye, but I don't want to be that public eye. I don't want to be that guy, because that guy is not an easy task. Ask Obama. So, with that being said, ask Trump. It's not an easy task. Shoot, ask some of our leaders right now that are trying to help him. Fauci. Man, I feel bad for Fauci. He got death threats, and then because people said he was trying to undermine Trump, but then, Trump just shut down his proposal for opening the country. So we're gonna risk going through another pandemic. All right, bet. So these are the things that I look at, and these are the things that we all can see it clearly. And, some people may deny it, like Fox News. Fox News tends to deny a lot of stuff, tends to back him on a lot of issues, and NBC tends to deny a lot of the stuff that, they're really liberal. Be honest. CNN, I'm pretty even with, but Cuomo's digging in, especially on Cuomo and Cuomo. I love that. Anybody can dig in on Cuomo is Cuomo. So, it's, I don't know. I just still wish Cuomo would wear a double Windsor. I wish all newscasters would wear a double Windsor. Look at the president. Look at the president right here. Look at his tie. Double Windsor. He ain't wearing he's not wearing a half Windsor. Just think about that for a second. Gotta shine, and you're on TV, you're in front of people's eyes. You want to look better than these people will look. But anyway, that's me hating on the presidency. Anyway, let's get back to the next. There are 3 types of hate, and I have just exhibited all 3. Just so you know, I've just exhibited all 3 in that last area. But let me break them down for you. Like I said, I got it off this article on medium.com. There's obvious hate, which is only negative. It's not constructive. It has bad vibes, and it's usually with somebody you don't get along with. There's low-key hate, faker hate. We smile in the back face. We secretly hate people who secretly hate, and those are your frenemies. And then conflicted hate. Conflicted hate, it's almost not hate. It's close to you. It's long relations. It's like I said, it's like family, friends. They might sock you, but they don't really mean to hate on you. They love you. They care about you, but, they know enough about you to hate on you. And so these are people you have long relationships or strong bonds. And if you look at the article, it says a little bit differently. It might have some of these the same, but I agreed with a lot of them. I probably took the first 2 off, and I probably changed the conflicted hate a little bit. I don't know. I got the gist of the article and probably wrote it down from my own thought process, but yeah, this is what it is. This is what it comes from. And once again, I want to thank the writer, Psychology Behind, for putting this out there. Hi, hater. Love this article. It actually just fits. It just really fits. So, let's see here. Next things next. CBD coffee, powerful natural effect, proven to reduce pain and aches. You see that coming in your text messages? Just delete them. It's scammers. I don't know if they are scammers, but how do you know I want CBD coffee? First off, why would I want CBD coffee? Why would I want coffee that relaxes me but makes me... I don't even want to go there. Okay. All right. Is it not made with coffee beans? Is it only CBD? Is it only hemp? That don't make no sense to me. Then it's not coffee. Then it's tea. Hemp tea. Wow. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's just get the common sense behind the statement here. But, people make up anything they want to these days. Now, so with that being said, and I'm trying to, okay, so what do you need to do to avoid these type of hate? I was trying to figure out where I was at in this whole thing. So what do you really need to do? I mean, you're going to have haters everywhere. As you saw, the last 5 haters, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. The angry hater, the silent hater, the one-up hater, the know-it-all hater, and the best friend hater, they are all conducting the obvious hate, the low-key hate, and the conflicted hate. So you got to break the hate. You got to break the hate, because if you don't break the hate, you'll see it. It comes to you. Just brush it off. Brush it off your shoulder. That's how you do it. You've got to break the hate, and if you break the hate, then what you do is you're able to avoid the situations that it brings. Okay, the hate brings you down, and it makes you second-guess things that you're doing. And so if you start second-guessing things that you're doing, you start to make the situation worse. Trust me. I let the hate get to me a couple of dozen times. What the heck was that? I let the hate get to me a couple of dozen times. And, it took people motivating me to get the hate, shake the hate off my shoulder. There's hate that stemmed from me being in elementary school and people talking about me in elementary school, and it coming all the way back to my adulthood life and slapping me in the back of my face and reminding me, ringing in the back of my head when I was attempting to read out loud in some cases. Actually, all the time. Anytime I read out loud, I hear it in the back of my head. I hear those voices. Those kids that I grew up with, some of them I became good friends with. It's nothing. I'm not blaming them at all. It was the situation. And the knowledge and understanding that in the situation helps me to understand that I can blame myself, be harder on myself about things. And when I'm harder on myself about things, I can make myself or deter myself from completing the task that I want to do, from meeting my goals. And when I notice that, I need to stop and break the hate. Stop for a second. Whoa. That's just hate. Don't let myself get distracted by the haters. The other day in chat, I let myself get distracted by a hater. All I should have done was just ban them on the second time and just kept talking. You know what I mean? And went on. But the hater wanted to... This is why... This is what killed me about it. And I think this is what was the most hurtful part, is that they were joking about suicide. That you don't joke about suicide. Not in a group chat. You don't joke about suicide in a large chat. Because when you joke about suicide, then you might actually tempt someone else to take their own life. You don't know who's listening. You don't know who's watching. And I think that's what really affected me on that one. And the worst part about it is because I had just spoke with Robert Graves a couple of weeks before, and he was talking about a guy who his whole unit took their lives. His whole unit. That's, we have 20 veterans a day taking their life. A day. I'm not talking about a month. I'm not talking about a week. I'm not talking about a year. I'm talking about a day, folks. 20 veterans. We're trying to get that number down. And this person comes in the chat and talks about suicide. I'm a veteran. I talk to other veterans. Other veterans come in my chat. That's a big no-no. I don't like to ban people. I like to let people talk and chat, and they might come back and try to say something, You know what I mean? And I'll say, look, that's probably not the best thing said, but let's see if we can, keep working this out. But when you talk about suicide and you joke about suicide, you outie 5,000 G. I might not report you, but don't ever come back. Break the hate. You got to break the hate. Stomp it in the ground where it's at. And when you stomp it in the ground where it's at, you feel better and you can focus on your next move, your next destiny, your next goal. You can focus your mind because the hate starts affecting you no matter how, from that point that you received it, for the rest of your life. You're going to hear it. You're going to feel it. You're going to see it. You're going to sense it. You're going to know it. But if you break it, you know that you broke it. And you know that you've surpassed the hate and came through with a stronger mentality, a stronger mindset. It's important. It's important. And so when you break the hate, you got to keep making moves. Put that Swift on. Put that Nike Swish on. Because when you put that Nike Swish on, you know what I'm saying? Just do it. That's their slogan. Keep making moves. Just do it. Do it. Do what you got to do to invest in yourself. Do what you got to do to make your services better. Do what you got to do to make things better. And Adam, let me jump into this. Let me really jump into this because I explained the investing in yourself, but I didn't really get into what you really got to do yet. All right. Why? Because there are two sides to every coin. And like I said, I've had mixed emotions about this year. I got mixed emotions about this year. Why do I have mixed emotions about this year? The coronavirus. Coronavirus gives me mixed emotions. Big time mixed emotions about this year. I don't think it's playing that, but that's probably a good idea. Oh, it's playing it. Oh, it's trying to play it. Oh, it's staggering. It's going. Let's stop it. All right. So I got mixed emotions. Coronavirus. The file's too big for that. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have put that in there. But anyway, a photo would have worked better. And the reason why I have mixed emotions about this pandemic is because, one, first of all, we have people who have lost their lives. We have people who have lost family members. We have people who have lost their way of life. We have people who have lost their jobs and may be close to losing their homes, lost their businesses, lost food on their tables, lost their sense of living, lost their sense of freedom, lost their understanding of the world that they live in, lost their ability to go outside and venture out and be around people they care about, lost their ability to go to the beach, lost their ability to go surf. We have people that have lost their ability to be free in America. And that's not nothing, anything to joke about. That's nothing to shake a stick at. That's a big thing. I feel the weight of that. Like I said earlier, I don't negate these people's feelings. I feel your weight just as much as you do. I don't negate the fact that I want to be able to go out and get a manicure, pedicure, and massage too. Yeah. But I have to know that if I get a manicure, pedicure, and massage, that I might get the coronavirus from somebody who's giving me the manicure, pedicure, massage, no matter how safe they are. Because remember, it was a nail salon. It was a nail salon that also spread the pandemic even further. And you got to think about that. And in most nail salons, they wear gloves, they wear masks. They're already doing most of the social distancing between the people because they want to keep people's clean feet and nails away from each other. The only thing they're not is they're touching people. And so that means barbershops, salons, all that. It's at risk. And so I got mixed feelings about it because on the other hand of all this pandemic and disaster and craziness, it's led us all to have to rethink home-based business. It's led us all to have to rethink how we can make money, how we can do business, how we can live, how we can survive, and what the next world will be like. And it's led up to what I've been talking about. It's led up to what other people have been talking about, that one day we're going to be in front of these computer screens presenting this stuff, giving stuff to each other, trying to sell people the idea of communicating through distance, the idea of learning through distance, the idea of making money through distance, the idea of business through distance. We've already sold each other on this, and soon we'll be in these holograms. Wow, can you imagine? Holographic? Can you imagine holographic Doc in your living room? They're like, no, get him out. Get him out. No, we don't want Doc in our living room. On the screen is just enough. But I mean, seriously, understand that. Understand the voyage and where we're going in the future. I may not live to see some of this, especially with this pandemic. And I don't mean because I might die from this pandemic. I mean because it's going to take us a little bit longer with this pandemic to get to where we were going. Some of the things that I was predicting, like, shoot, I was getting ready. I was getting ready for hoverboards and hover bikes and you know what I'm saying, and drive and having my car drive me around everywhere, you know, and not having to drive and can work in my car. I was looking forward to this. I don't want to be 70 when this stuff starts coming out. I don't want to be trying to kick it like Biden, like Trump. Heck no. I want to be rich and enjoying this stuff way before then. I want my money in the bank where it needs to be. I'm trying to do a 10-year mark off of this. I done the 5-year work. I'm still doing the legwork right now because I'm just getting out of graduation. But now I'm really doing the 5-year work. It's going to take me about 5 to 7 more years before I crack through. Before I go from that zero to hero. Why do I keep talking about this zero to hero campaign? Because I started with zero. I lost everything. At one point in my life, I lost it all. Lived off of county means. I lived off of federal means. Why? County means, actually. Because I lost everything. And it took a wake-up call for me to get up off of Skid Row. I wasn't there for 6 months, but I just gave up on everything. And that was something I was going through. That was something I was going through psychologically, because when I walked away from my industry, entertainment, walked away from Universal Music Group, the company that I was working with, as well as Universal Music Group, you know what I'm saying? When I walked away from those chances and saying I have to have 5 years without no compete contract, my soul was gone. You know what I mean? My soul was really gone. You know what I'm saying? And I was kind of at that point anyway. I wasn't really liking what I was doing at that time. I wasn't really happy with my life at that time. And so it took me a second to snap out of that. It took me a second of sleeping on the curb. First, I slept in the hotel, Panama Hotel. For those of y'all who know Skid Row, I lived in the Panama Hotel for a while. There was a couple of times we had these bed bug pandemics. Somebody had bed bugs a couple of times. It wasn't me, thank God. Oh, because when I did finally get bed bugs, moved in this apartment and got bed bugs after I moved in. It was the worst torture, getting every piece bed bug, killing every bed bug. Oh, dude, I had to sleep in the living room on wood pallets and put cushions on wood pallets so the bed bugs wouldn't get. I had to clear this whole apartment out. All right, torture. So I have mixed feelings about going through. I sacrificed, all right? I had to live without being in comfort after moving into a new apartment. I had to live without being in comfort for a year, but I had to do it and work. And because I had been in the military, I'm used to being able to do things like that. Doing what you have to do when you have to do it. No, I don't want to say just the military. I grew up in South Central LA. You know what I'm saying? My mom put it to me. She said the same stuff. She knows what it's like not having to grow up and get what you have to get with what you have to do. She came from Tyler, Texas, where it was a time where, you know, she had racism on her back and poor. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? I had moms who were poor and I had moms who had money. And this is why this is so important. Okay? Because I think people look at life differently. And that's what we're going back to the people out there protesting. People look at life differently from their perspective. You know, people who have financial means in some case feel like they have more freedom because of their financial needs. They worked hard enough to have that more freedom. And they see world through a different lens. They see world through a more entitled lens, I think. I think some people are more entitled than they should be, you know, especially in the world that we live in. You know, you don't have to deal with some of the stuff people had to deal with back in the day. I mean, just think, if We had an EMP wipe out all electronics. Look what you would have to do. You'd have to farm again. Some of y'all people won't last in that type of lifestyle. I've said this before. Some of you people won't understand that you've got to plant your own food, that you've got to let your hair grow out and not have your hair trimmed and cut, your nails. You're going to have to cut your own nails. You gotta survive without all these amenities we have. You know, and that's somebody was talking about that earlier. They said, I ain't heard nothing from Silk the Shocker in a while. That's because nobody's been shocked. It took this pandemic for people to shock people. Now you might hear Silk the Shocker come out talking about it with a track. Oh, shoot. No Limit Soldiers. No, you know, whatever happened to Silk, who knows, but that's okay. You know, probably got silenced. You know, after they killed his brother, he kind of fizzled off. You know, I mean, I'll be honest. After he killed his brother, No Limit kind of fizzled off. So, you know, anyway, we can keep going with this and understand that why did I have mixed feelings? Because I see that this is an opportunity for a lot of us. I really see that in the middle of chaos, I think that's the difference between an entrepreneur and the normal individual or the normal worker. An entrepreneur sees a problem, sees chaos as being an opportunity, sees problems as being an opportunity. And that's another reason why you might see some of our leaders loving the chaos, because they see numbers. They see dollar signs when it's chaos. They see trouble as an opportunity to make money because they do get more successful in chaos. They do become more financially inept in chaos. You know, war is the biggest amount of chaos we can ever see. And every war, the rich get richer from it. Why? Because war brings more money. Chaos like this brings more money going to pharmaceutical companies like Moderna. Moderna is probably going to make a whole crap load of money off of putting out a pill for us. You know what I'm saying? All these companies are going to make a crap load of money about putting out some kind of virus protection for us before they have a vaccine. They're going to be working on something that keeps us from dying while we're sick. You know what I'm saying? This is a scary situation when you think about what could really be going on. But I don't want to go into any conspiracy theories. But wow, look at the fallback on that. You know, it's like, to me, that when I say conspiracy, it's like the tobacco company. You know, hey, we're gonna put out vapes, and then we're gonna put out videos saying that you shouldn't be taking vapes or cigarettes. We're going to put out cigarettes for years. Or oil companies. Oil companies. Oh, wow. We're going to put out leaded gasoline knowing that lead kills people. I mean, this world that we live in is all about profit. And people say, well, I want to live in a socialist country. A socialist country is about profit too. Every country in the world has to profit off of other countries. If you haven't looked at world economies, the world economy is all about profit. And what runs the world economy? Markets. The world stock market and the U.S. stock market. So what the heck are you people talking about when you say you want to live in a socialist economy? What the heck is Bernie talking about? There's no way. I mean, yeah, you can probably call it a capitalistic socialist economy. Yeah, our democratic socialism. Yeah, it's got to be something else, because there is no socialism anymore when every country is profiting off of each other and surviving off of each other's credit, because every country has always lived that way. From the time of kings and queens, countries have loaned each other money and profiteered off of each other's success by charging taxes. The taxes that are supposed to be not without representation, but our representation doesn't even represent us because they are no longer our peers anymore. You see what I'm saying? So it goes into this whole other political aspect, but we all know it's there. I know it's there. I'm not worried about that. I'm not stressing over it. Yes, I can fight over it. I can get angry over it. Yes. Or I can spend my time doing something more constructive. Taking those mixed feelings and saying, look, I can get my message out there. My message is, help yourself, invest in yourself, and get to the next means. Why? Why would you want to do that? Because the idea of doubling down. Do I have 2 mixed feelings in here? Looks like I have 2 mixed feelings. Yes, I do. The idea of doubling down is, oh, wait a minute. That is so weird. It wasn't 2. It actually plays if I skip it to the next slide. That's good to know. That's good to know. The idea of mixed feelings is, you need to take, the idea of doubling down is that you got to take twice the action. That's the idea of doubling down. You have to take twice the action. And I wish I would have got a better photo there. It looks good on that screen, but it looks terrible on my screen. Ugh, that's the best. And, doubling down, where does it come from? It comes from the idea of the game 21. You double down when you want to do more with your money. You double down when you want to do more and take a bigger risk. You got to take a bigger risk. Doubling down means taking twice as much risk, right? So the first risk you got to take is on yourself. Saving more than 10 or 20%. All right. Now let me break this down. Most people only put away enough money to either take care of tithes or put some in the bank. So this is what happens. People take 20% and they'll put it in their charity or put it in their tithe or put it whatever. And they'll do that. And I don't negate that. Do that. Put it in the community. That's what it's for. You're supposed to tithe. There's a reason why you're supposed to take 10% and put it back in the community, because the community is going to pay it back to you somehow. All right. Whether it be through tithing, whether it be through donations, whether it be through whatever you call your 10%, right? Now, your other 10%, some people forget, or some people don't do that at all. I've had issues with that one. Trust me, I've had issues saving. And I'm going to tell you why I've had issues saving. I didn't look at it. I didn't look at it this way until somebody woke me up. But I thought I had issues saving because I was looking at it from a poor perspective, right? But I wasn't having issues saving at all. I haven't been having issues saving. I've been having issues more of balancing how I save and how I spend, all right? Which is a different thing, which is not bad, all right? Because I'm doing a hell of a well with it. So I don't know how, but all right, thank you, family, thank you, friends. And I think that's probably why too. But okay, so most people save 10% for themselves, and they'll put 10% back and away, and they'll put it in the bank or whatever. And they'll take that opportunity to try to invest money into themselves, and they'll put it in the IRA or whatever. Okay, that's great. That's great. You're invested in yourself. I get it. But the problem is that we need to save more than 10 to 20%. Grant Cardone talks about that all the time. And I think he's crazy when he says 40%, but he's right. He's right, because if you can figure out a way to save 40% and spend less time spending it on stuff you don't need, you don't want, then you're going to actually do things better. Now, the reason why I have a better problem is because I end up investing more of my savings into myself. I'm always investing into myself. I'm always trying to get something to make my gear better, to take the next step by step by step. I'm taking what little money I have here, buy this. I'm taking what little money I have here, buy this, and getting better along the way and doing things better along the way. Because my goal since 2016 is to build this company. Build this company that presents this kind of content out to people so that they can get past the problems that they're having in life and actually see that not only people who are rich like Grant Cardone and Ty Lopez can do it, but people like you and me can do it. Zero to hero. I'm going from $0 and 0 cents. Going from living on the county to getting up off of living on the county to living on part my means and part my retirement now, but I still need more. But I want to live higher. And when I talk about living higher, and people are like, your retirement, yes, I'm only 46. But yes, I'm retired at 45 because thank goodness for being a veteran. And, there's a whole bunch of reasons behind that. I call it retirement. It's not really retirement, but I'm retired. I don't have to do anything anymore. But I do it because I want to make that next level. I don't want to be just here because it's not enough. You know what I'm saying? When I get that 60 retirement and add it with this, it's still not going to be enough. None of it's enough. None of it's enough until I'm able to build and buy that island so that I can give to more people, especially give to more people for all those people who gave to me and helped me get to the next level. All those people who put in their efforts to make me who I am today and to kick me in the butt and get better, make me get better at who I am today. So that I can go back out there and do the same to other people and kick them in the butt and get them better, kick you in the butt and get you better. You know what I'm saying? We're all one community. We don't get there without one another. We have to be indivisible with liberty and justice for all to make it happen. You see what I'm saying? You know, I think that's one of the problems. You'll see a lot of people be like, yeah, we're all under God, you know, but none of us are believing in the same God, and none of us are believing that God sees each other the same way. None of us are believing in God the same way. Even the same people under the same religion don't believe in God the same way. So it's got to be with liberty, indivisible first. Indivisible has to be the most important part. And that's why I got a buddy of mine, and I know I love her to death, and she was right. She was right. You know what I'm saying? If you really believe we're one nation under God, if you really believe we are one nation, then we need to work together as a community. We need to work together as a family. You see what I'm saying? Because the nation has to be a family before we understand how to protect ourselves from other nations. Otherwise, we're just a ragtag team of people walking around the 84 Olympics acting like we own the country and we don't own crap. I mean, that's what we looked like in the 1984 Olympics if you take a look. And that's what we're looking like now. A ragtag country that acting like we own everything, but we're trying to open up the country in the middle of a pandemic before we make sure we assess the situation and make sure everything is sanitized properly, fit properly. We got to invest in ourselves more first. Invest in the fact that we might be home longer. Invest more into our savings. So in order to do that, we got to take that 10% that we do for tithes and community and leave it there. Tithes and community. We got to take another 10% that we invest in ourselves and put it away. Then we got to take another 10% that we invest in our business and we put that away until we can get up to another 10%. And then we say, forget investing in ourselves and them zuzus and wham-whams, like my mama used to say, candy and stuff that you buy at the store, zuzus and wham-wham, stuff you don't need but you buy anyway. Yeah, that stuff, until we stop investing in that and take that and add it with our business money and add it with that extra 10%, and we got 30% to invest in our self, in our business, in our growth. This is why I've been having those issues, is because I thought I'm sitting here always investing in myself and I'm always taking more and more money. Sometimes I'll be like, dude, I'll eat less. Like, people think I'm crazy when I say I'll eat less. I won't eat gorge. When I say I won't eat less, like, I won't eat stuff that I really want to eat that month. Like, I used to say back in the day that once a month I go to In-N-Out Burger. I haven't had In-N-Out Burger in 12 months. No, wait. I lied. No, I haven't had In-N-Out Burger. No. Yeah, since I worked at Veterans Resource Center. All right. So I haven't had In-N-Out Burger for at least over 6 to 8 months, maybe 11 months. All right. And that's because we did it as a group thing at work. All right. But generally speaking, I haven't had In-N-Out Burger since then. And I love In-N-Out Burger. And I used to have it once a month. That used to be my once a month ritual. So even though that is my once a month ritual, I'm sacrificing that and taking the money I would spend on In-N-Out Burger once a month. That's my zuzus and wham-whams, and I'm investing it in equipment that I need. So when I actually say that I went broke because I had to spend money on something and I have to borrow money from a family member just to make sure that I make it through the rest of the month or whatever, it's because I invested in my business. So my family is helping me invest in my business so that I can get better at my business, so that I can grow better at my business. Or in other cases, I invested in schooling, which is my business. Me going to school and getting better at my business is my business. That's investing in myself. So a lot of lot of times my family is helping me get through school. Friends have helping me get through school. You know what I'm saying? Get through the financial troubles that I've had going and working and going to school at the same time. That's investing in yourself, investing more in savings in yourself, investing more in yourself. So when I thought I wasn't being as financially intelligent, I look back at how I was spending money and what I've been doing with money. Wow. I've been more intelligent than I thought. I've been investing I've been doubling down. And now I'm trying to double down again. I'm assessing my progress, seeing that I'm getting a degree, seeing where I'm going, seeing that I may not be able to get in my master's degree program, which I'm saying my master's degree program because I'm trying to be a Stark. I'm trying to be in the Peter Stark program, so that's a whole nother story. You know what I mean? That's going to be a whole nother development, but I'd really love to be in the Peter Stark producing program, master's degree program. And that's what I'm trying to figure out how to get into, how to apply properly to get into that program when there's only accept 20 a year, and now we have a pandemic. So that just changes the whole situation right there, right? So, I had to figure out, okay, how can I invest more in myself so that I'm ready for when it comes to apply again so that I can do things right. And part of that is practice. Practice is doing it, and practice is making that fold, and practice is making that move. But not just investing in myself, we also got to continue to create more product or available service. You got to continue right now. I'm creating more product or available service. I'm giving away available service that I'll eventually chop down into product when I start to make these lessons tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. You know what I mean? The free lessons are going to be longer. They're going to be more stretched out. But the paid lessons, of course, they have to be more synced, more tight, broken down. You know what I mean? The free ones are allowing me time to get your attention so that we can keep moving on through these lesson series for the future. And then if you spend time looking through lesson series, you're going to get the meat that you need. You might get updates in some of the new stuff, but generally speaking, if you have the meat that you need, you're going to go ahead and make it happen. It's the same meat that I get from everybody else out there. Don't get me wrong. I'm not copying exactly but I'm looking at it from my perspective and saying this is what works for me. You know what I mean? Some of their stuff doesn't work for me. Some of their stuff won't work for you. Not everything I'm saying is going to work for you. You have to break it down for yourself. But if you take this basics and take the basic layout that I'm giving you, or that Grant's giving you, or that Ty's giving you, or that other people out there are giving you, then you'll start to mold and shape the basics for you. Just like I know a lot of companies that'll set up a plan and then they'll build an Excel sheet, they'll build a PowerPoint sheet, they'll build, Word documents, and they'll set up everything they need for their company. This is something you need for your company as well. Setting up this and setting up a practice that you put in order, that you do for at least 66 days or more in your company, will make this happen for you and make change for you. That's why you still see me coming in on every Sunday, even when I don't have a lesson, because that's putting in a practice that makes me continue to do things. That one Sunday that I think I took off, I only took that Sunday off because I was supposed to be going to Vegas. Actually, I was supposed to be doing something totally different. I was supposed to be going that Sunday I was supposed to be going to my sister's wedding, supposed to be doing a whole bunch of everything collided down. Why? Because of a pandemic. You know what I mean? And I was supposed to be getting ready for Vegas the next week after that. So my whole thing shifted. Just like all of your whole lifestyle, everything shifted. Everything changed. No NAB show. No sister wedding. No Seattle. I was gonna go to Seattle too. I had a whole plan. I had a whole plan mapped out. Go meet a homie. Actually, he's going to islands. Go to the islands. Go to the islands and meet a homie. up there in Seattle. Now, anyway, but you got to create more product or more available services, or available services. Make sure you have more available services out there. Now, I have a lot of available services. I'm not promoting them all because some of them I can't do right now. Some of them I just can't do. I can't come in and shoot a whole commercial for you. Shooting a commercial for you is just not going to work. Shooting a commercial for you now is going to be me doing a commercial right here for you. And understand that I'm actually changing my, I just thought about that. I'm going to change up why can't I think of the name of why can't I think of the name of the particular app we use or the particular device? Wow. I'm changing up how people are going to be able to join up. I'm changing up the whole program. I think it's important that I do change up the whole program because it has to do with how you all are supporting me. I don't want donations. I really don't want donations. I want people to get something back for what they put in. So I want to set up a program. I want to set up a program that allows me to help people be able to get information, but also share information. No, that's not what I wanted. Not Streamlabs. What's the other one? Oh, that's it. All right. I wanted to set up something. Basically, I'm setting it up so that those who like to advertise, those who want to advertise on the channel, there's going to be a pricing point matrix for that, as well as those who want to share certain things on the channel, certain information. And then I'm going to have a group of people that I'm pulling together to share certain information on the channel. So we're trying to change this a little bit around for everybody. But I can't find anything that I'm looking for right now. Wow. Okay, so my Patreon account, basically I can't even find what I'm looking for. The Patreon account, now that I remembered the name, I just out of blue. Patreon account, I'm basically going to set it up to where anybody who becomes a patron, if you're giving me money, because it's a monthly thing, I want to make sure that if you're giving me money for a monthly thing, that you're getting something back. You're paying for something and receive, not just the entertainment, not just the information, but you're actually getting some kind of training. You're actually getting some kind of one-on-one through this. And you're actually possibly getting some kind of advertising outlet. So some Patreons are going to be advertising outlets. Some Patreons are going to be sources. Like I had somebody who said, hey, we're looking for somebody to rep our brand. Hey, well, if you pay this much in my Patreon, I will rep your brand. It's after we agree. I want to agree to this first before I allow you to pay, because I'd rather rep a brand that I agree to repping before just repping it. Then you'll need to put this much in my Patreon every month. I'm not doing deals like people do, and I'm going to break it down. It's going to be easy. It's going to be inexpensive. I'm not trying to rob people. Because I know there's going to be a lot of small business owners out there right now. There's going to be a lot of small business owners that are out there that are looking for ways to develop their business more right now. How do you get more people to your business when it's now a curbside business, especially a bookstore, when you can get all your books off of Amazon? That's really, the bookstore is going to go to Amazon. It's going to change the face. Everything is going to change the face. So how do we change that? We got to be able to create more products. We got to create more services. We got to be able to fill more needs. So how do you fill more needs? I want to open up the door to where advertising can come in. I want to open up the door to where content creators can come in and actually advertise as well. I think there are a lot of people that are like, I don't see any ads from other. I should see on Mixer. I should see ads from other streamers on other streamers' channels. Now people will be like, no. I should see you stop. I see people say it all the time. So why isn't there a quick ad pop up? Hey, you know what? Let's show this streamer real quick. Boom. You know what I mean? Streamers sponsoring streamers. You know what I mean? I'm even down for that. I'm even down to sponsor other streamers. You know what I'm saying? And maybe put some other content in my ad. Not what's on my channel per se, but some content that I want to feed out there. You know what I mean? Like I know there are artists out there, musicians, artists who want to get their music out to other people. There's opportunity put an ad together about your music, that you want to sell your music, and work with your boy, and they get a percentage of the actual music you're streaming or the advertisement. You know what I'm saying? You're paying them for the ad time. You're paying them for the airtime. This is how we can work this out even more without having to be specific about going to big brands, because the small business owner is losing right now. You know, it's not the big business owner that's losing. Yeah, a lot of big businesses are losing. Don't get me wrong. But it's the small business owner that's really losing, because the big business owner has things in place that will leave them on top, because the business is its own entity. And usually what happens is their leaders step down, but the business continues to go, or the business goes bankrupt completely. It's still its own entity. Where the small business owner, its own entity, you still end up in a lot more liability, because you have a lot more debt that you can't write off like they can, that you can't liquidate like they can. You know, I mean, you don't have as many items that you can turn into liquid assets like the big business owner. You know, if you looked at me, or let's say a small network, TMZ, small network, for instance, TMZ versus NBC. NBC has satellite dishes for days. Satellite dishes. If they went bankrupt, they got money to liquidate. You know what I'm saying? They got screens and old process. They got old content they can liquidate. All right? That still allows them. MGM. Look at MGM. When MGM went under, they sold MGM's database, pretty much. They sold the place with all the film and stuff, with all the old films, and that has kept MGM alive. It's not MGM anymore, but it has kept the presence of MGM alive to this day, because they sold that content, and it was engulfed into another company, and then further down into the conglomerates. But you see what I'm saying? Content, creative content, intellectual property is more valuable than anything else out there. Terrible pen, but the pen is mightier than anything else you can do out there. The pen. Because the pen brings concepts and ideas to the table. The pen brings concepts and ideas to fruition. The pen imprints ideas into our minds so that we believe in them, and we either create media about them, or we actually create it because we've created media, or because someone else created media, or because we just wanted to create it. Tricorder. I mean, these ideas are out there consistently, every day. But what are we doing with them? We're squandering. I've seen people that go to jail for some of the heinous, stupidest stuff. Then they get into jail, you find out they're a mastermind. And they come up with all these concepts. Then they get out of jail, they go right back in jail for the same stupid stuff they went to jail for before. You know, our minds are very powerful. We can do much more. And when we're closed in these type of situations, if we don't keep it idle, then we're able to create more product and available services. Just saying. And then, after you create it, you got to sell it. You got to sell more products and services. Sell. Sell or be sold. Can you see it? Sell or be sold right there on the wall, right there. Sell or be sold in red, right above the monkey and right below the pyramid. Sell or be sold. Who's got my money? You got to sell it. Look at Ty Lopez. I see him at least once a week. Actually, I see him almost once a day. If I go to YouTube, I see him almost once a day, even though I skip him, even though I've watched the whole video. I see him begging and pleading for people to buy his product. You got to sell. Somebody's buying his product. I also see other people like Billy Jean is marketing, testing his stuff out too. I'm testing people's stuff out to see because I want to know. Really, is what you're giving out really legit? Because I find that a lot of people give out less than what they say, and then I mean, like some of Billie Jean is marketing. Your sound is terrible, man. I don't want to be listening to your stuff and all of a sudden blow up my eardrums, blow my speakers out. Sound quality. You know what I mean? I mess up too. I do mess up too, but if you're recording something, take the time to give it better sound quality. Try. Anyway. And then last but not least, rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. Now, that's not to say that Billie Jean's marketing has bad content. He's got some good content in there. I'm just be honest. But I'm still sifting through to see overall, is it worth, it might be worth what I paid for it now, but I don't know if it's worth what other people paid for it back then. But some people said it really was worth it to them because they didn't know. They didn't know the information. I get it. If you don't know the information and you spend $1,000 to learn the information and you find out that information actually helps you make $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, then it's worth it. But if you don't do it, or if you do and you don't make the money off of it, then you're not going to say it's worth it. So it's all consistent, but you've got to take the steps. These 5 steps right here, the steps that I made up, I say that you got to do these steps in order to save, invest, and charge for it. This way you can create, sell, and then you just rinse and repeat. This is how you double down. These are the 5 steps to double down in my book. Excuse me. Got this kind of hair poking me. Now, what's next? Well, what's next? Of course, I got a quote. I do not subscribe to the notion of forced scarcity, only the scarcity mindset. And this is going back to, this is why I've been leading up to Ty Lopez, leading up to Grant Cardone, leading up to Billie Jean. I forgot his name already. Billie Jean is marketing because, all right, check this out. A lot of these places will do this. They'll put out their stuff and they'll say, yeah, scarcity. I'm only accepting 10 people in this program. I'm only accepting 10 people in this program. And then a month later, you see the same ad at only 10 people in the program. And they still accepting people in the program. That's forced scarcity. I say that's forced scarcity. If you say you're only accepting this amount of people for this limited time, cut it off when it's down. I do subscribe to the scarcity mindset. I believe that we have to have scarcity in order to sell. I mean, I believe that when I opened up my other program, I could only have a certain amount of people, and I could only have a certain amount of beta testers. I still have trouble trying to manage the beta testers I have right now. All right, so when I say that there is a reason for the scarcity mindset, because you want to make sure that you deliver what you're trying to deliver to people the way you want to deliver it. But when I see people put that out there, and like even Billie Jean, I was actually buying another one of his products when I decided not to finish buying one of his smaller products, which I was going to buy anyway after I bought another product, right? And I got a message in the mail saying, see, you missed the timer on this. We'll give you another chance. That's not scarcity. That means you're trying to sell me again. And I get it. Don't try to sell me on the scarcity and then sell me on the scarcity. If it's scarcity, cut it off. Then I missed out. Then I'll try to go back and find it. Because you know why? I know that I can always go find the link, probably bring it back, refresh the link, and it'll probably work for me. I know that. And I'm going to tell y'all that too. Some of these scarcity places, you can probably, when the timer goes down, you can probably clear your cache, take the link, put it in a new browser, and voila. Timer starts all right over again. So that's forced scarcity to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather do dates and stuff and say, look, you guys got by this date. If you don't do it by this date, then it's cut off. You know, 24 hours. If I say it's 24 hours, the next day it's cut off. You know, I don't like that forced scarcity that makes me feel like I got to buy something that I can get 2, 3, 4, 5 months later. Because I've done that to some of these companies. Hey, they don't pay attention to it. It's too much. We got too much stuff to pay attention to. We're constantly putting out content. And when you're putting out content like this, there is going to be scarcity, but you're going to have a lot of content. And so I don't want to give up the game on that. But yes, at the same time, you might miss something. Because I know I've missed things. And then I've gone and gotten something later. And then there was something else that was missing from it. I have. I have, and you might really miss out on something that you could actually have gotten that is perfect. And so if you feel like it's something that you really needed, get it. Get it while you got it. Get it while you can. Get it for that discount price. You might actually go up in price. See, that I prescribe to. I will not subscribe, prescribe to. That the fact that once it went after this time, it went up in price. Hey, we missed out. We got to pay more to find out. All day long. That scarcity, I will. But the scarcity that is there and is not there and you really is still there, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of companies playing that one. I'm tired of that one. Fix y'all stuff. And with that being said, the book that I wanted to bring into this, and I know I'm already like an hour and 40 minutes in. I'm almost 2 hours in on this lesson. It's supposed to be shorter, but I dug in today. The lesson is on Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's right, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Why is it on Rich Dad Poor Dad? Well, because the thing about Rich Dad Poor Dad is, for me, we were talking about this earlier about the mindset, the money mindset, the poor money mindset, the poor mind. And somebody had to wake me up and show me that I was actually investing in myself. And it reminded me of what I learned in Rich Dad Poor Dad. And let me get to that real quick. But before I get to Rich Dad Poor Dad, let's give you another word from one of our sponsors, and this is New York Chicken and Gyro. That's right, New York Chicken and Gyro. They are one of our sponsors. Yep. Even though they don't really know it yet. I told them, but you know, because they hooked me up. They hooked me up really, really well. So I decided to give them a free month of sponsorship. They are in 3 places. If you're in the LA Hotbox, they are in 3 places. All right, 3 different places. Now, they know me as the black guy with the shades. You know, that's just the way it is. So if you actually tell them that Doc sent you, they'll probably be like, who? But just tell them that Doc sent you anyway. If they look at you funny, just the black guy with shades. You know, if you end up in the Canoga party, if you end up knowing any of the owners, meeting any of the owners of it, they know me. I've been eating there for a while. Sometimes I eat a little bit too much there. So, but New York Chicken and Gyro, I know the name is Gyro, and it's supposed to be Euro. They know the name is Euro, and they actually have Euros on their menu. Euros on their menu, and they actually say Euros when you talk to them about Euros, but the company name is New York Chicken and Gyro. All right, get it through your head. New York Chicken and Gyro. They got chicken over rice, lamb over rice, mixed platter over rice, falafel over rice. They got it. It's good. It's good. Check it out. 3 locations to serve you in the Los Angeles area. You can also get them on the web at www.nyc-gyro.com. Euro.com. Either way. But I like this Topanga Canyon one. I get it all the time. And there's a phone number if you want to call them as well, too. So, New York Chicken and Gyro. Get you some eats. Get you some good eats if you're in the LA area. Get it delivered if you want to. Get it delivered. It's on Grubhub. I just don't like doing Grubhub because they tend to not know how to get in the building even though the door is unlocked. I'm like, the door is unlocked and you can't get in the building. Wow. Anyway, so in Rich Dad Poor Dad, one of the things that I noticed when I was looking in this book is right off the bat. I mean, page 2. On page 2, he starts talking about some of the meat. And most of the books I'm giving you, there's meat right on the first few pages. And that's what I love about it. I can just jump in a first few pages, give you a little bit of meat, and not even really reveal everything in the book. But most of these books, there's meat on almost every 10 pages. Every 10 pages, there's so much meat in it. And the meat that they give in Rich Dad Poor Dad, he says that, for example, one of his dads would say, his poor dad would say, the love of money is the root of all evil. And his rich dad would say, the lack of money is the root of all evil. Now think about that for a second. I tend to think they're both right. I think if you love money too much, if you really overlove money more than you love people around you and how money is supposed to be used, then you're a slave to money still. And if you're a slave to money either way, instead of the money being a slave for you, then you're into some evil. And then on the other end, you know, not having enough money, Like I said, I've seen a lot of people do some heinous stuff because they're broke, because they're poor. You know what I'm saying? Then they get in jail where everybody's broke and poor, and then they become a genius. They start creating stuff that you would never thought of, but then they get back on the street, and then they go back into that poor mentality, that poor mind mentality that has stopped them from being able to grow, that has stopped them from being able to go. You know, and so this poor mind mentality can stop us from being able to grow. That's not what we want to live by. Another thing that he says, and it's a couple of more pages. I'm going to read this to you. I love this part. He talks about his two dads had opposing attitudes, and it affected the way they thought. Their attitudes affected the way they thought. Their two attitudes about life, about how they saw life. And here's some of the attitudes. One dad recommended study hard so you can find a good company to work for. The other dad recommended study hard so you can find a good company to buy. Think about that for a second. He puts your mindset in another realm. We've been talking about mindset all the time. And that's the important part about all this. It's all mindset. We can do anything we set our minds to do. People tell us that all the time, but yet and still, that same person that tells us we can do anything we set our mind to do tell you, you can't go out and get that job because you're this, because you're that, because you can't do this, because you don't have the skills to do this. But if we set our minds to do it, we can do it. I told myself, I shouldn't be doing this job. Matter of fact, when I was doing reporting, I was telling myself all the time, doing news report, I shouldn't be doing this job. I suck at doing this. I can't read. I'm bashing myself all the time with the stuff that I had when I was a little kid. Little kid stuff. Bashing myself, telling myself I can't do. Instead of telling myself I can do, and I can do more than what I put my mind to. I can move a mountain with my mind. I just got to figure out how to do it. You know what I mean? And that could mean me getting a whole crew of people to move a mountain. I've seen it done. Don't you see we have trains going through mountains? We have highways going through where mountains were, cut down the middle of them. People move mountains with their mind. Yeah. I don't see that person that was sitting at the desk that made the plan, that made that freeway, get out there and pickaxe that way through there and lay that asphalt, lay that concrete, lay them pylons, cut through that mountainside. They did it with their mind, didn't they? The pen, the mighty old pen. The mighty old pen writes information that we need. One dad said, the reason I'm not rich is because I have you kids. The other said, the reason I must be rich is because I have you kids. Interesting. One encouraged talking about money and business at the dinner table, while the other forbade the subject of money to be discussed over a meal. You know, how can kids learn from their parents about how to use and spend money if their parents are forbidding them to discuss it over a meal, where things should be shared, where people should sit down and talk about stuff? Not while they're playing a video game, while everybody's sitting at the table, phones put away, everything put away. We should discuss the likes of life and things that need to be done and how to get things done. We shouldn't be embarrassed to talk about money at a meal table, at a table. We shouldn't be embarrassed to talk about money. I do understand that idea of not telling somebody else how much you get paid, but we shouldn't be embarrassed to talk about saving money, investing money, and how to be financially intelligent. You know, that's the poor mentality. One said, when it comes to money, play it safe. Don't take risks. The other said, learn to manage risk. Investing in yourself is learning to manage risk. But now, I didn't, see what I'm saying? I already knew this. Somebody slapped me to self. I've been sitting around managing risk. I've been managing risk for myself by investing in myself the right way, doing things I needed to do to invest in myself. And it's because of that, that I've changed my whole mentality. It's because of that I've changed my whole voyage and how I see this pandemic. I'm like, okay, I'm at home for a little bit. I can start working on stuff I got to do at home. You know what I'm saying? I can start kicking back, working on how I can make more money from home. How I can double down. That's what double down is all about. And then he says, one believed our home is our largest investment and our greatest asset. The other believed my house is a liability. And if your house is your largest investment, you are in trouble. Woo! Grant Cardone's been talking about that over and over and over and over again. Over and over again. He's been talking about that over and over and over again. You see, people who believe that your house is an investment, you're wrong. Your house is a liability. Buying an apartment, buying into commercial property is an investment. You know what I mean? Multifamily housing is an investment because you're going to be paid back. You can go live in an apartment in that multifamily housing and still get paid to live there. You ain't got to do nothing but live there. You could have a rental company. All you had to do was buy the property. You could have a management company taking care of your management, taking care of your land stake. You live in the building, free rent for yourself, which is costing you money, free rent, but you got other people renting. As long as you get enough units. You have to get enough units to do that. That's what Grant teaches. That's what Grant talks about. Now, whether or not things are going with Grant Cardone Capital the way they're supposed to be going, I don't know. I don't really care at this point because I'm not vested in Grant Cardone Capital. You know, unfortunately, I feel like I should still be invested in it. But, you know, I mean, I don't want anybody just to go there without actually knowing. I don't know enough about investing into that kind of company to do that. But I do know and understand the basics of investing into a home. I can see it all over the web. People talk about it every day. It's been on TV. We all know the general basics. We all know what it generally takes. You got to have a down payment. You got to have, you know, some kind of credit. And you got to have the property, right? You know what I mean? Down payment, credit, and you got to have a job. You got to be able to back it up. You can back the money that you're putting in up. You know what I'm saying? To say that you can make the payments, right? Well, it's not the same when you go to buy a multifamily housing unit. You can have the money, you could have the credit, or you got to have one of two things. You got to have money, credit, or a rental company, a leasing company, an experienced leasing company, or the experience being able to lease a property. This is all from Grant Cardone, if you want to know where I got this from. But this is where you have to have those three things. And I've checked around. I've actually done the research. I did the research after he said that. And I looked and I asked bankers and different things. They said, yeah, if you got one of those, if you got bad credit and you got a down payment and you got a management company, we'll get you that property. We'll get you that loan to get that property. I'm like, but what if I wanted to get a house? No, you can't do that with a house. I'm like, oh, because that property is going to pay you and me at the same time. That house is only going to pay you, and the money's going to come out of my pocket. You get where I'm going? You pick up what I'm putting down. This is important, folks. This is important. We got to understand. We got to know this. These are some of these big time money misconceptions we all have. We all have. And before I cut off this page, I got to give y'all the Amazon link to Rich Dad Poor Dad. You know what I'm saying? I put it out there, and Amazon, yo, Doc, yeah, I see you, motherfucker. I know I'm a little late getting back to you right there. Oh, let me see. All right, so Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I had my chat covered with a whole bunch of windows because I was doing a lot more than I should be doing. And buy out. Here's a link to it. You can pick this book up on Amazon. Get this book. Make that your voyage. You know what I mean? To look at these things and relook at some of the concepts that you've been told by other people. You know what I'm saying? And get out of these money misconceptions right here. These money misconceptions. All right, yeah. Pick that up, motherfucker. Pick that up. It's good to see you, man. It's good to see you. Yeah, and then get, because like I said before, we've had money misconceptions before, but these are more money misconceptions. And you'll find a lot in this book. You'll find a lot of them. A lot of them. And it's ridiculous because a lot of them we say all the time. We say all the time. All the time. And I'm like, I catch myself even stopping myself from even thinking about using some of these terms or some of these misconceptions because it leads me down the wrong mindset. And we need our mindset to grow, so that we can go back and take action, so that we're ready to invest in ourselves, so that we can double down. You know what I'm saying? Because when we double down, That's when we are able to get past all that fear. We take the risk that we need to. And I'm going to bring this docism back. I said this before. Fear of loss will hinder a quest for gain. If you're fearing the loss when it comes to investing yourself, then you're not going anywhere because you are your best sure bet. Hey, thanks for the sparks too, motherflocker. I appreciate those sparks. You are your own best sure bet. And a fear of loss is only going to hinder your quest for gain. So stop fearing your loss and take this voyage. Take this trip. You know what I'm saying? This Doc, folks, you know what I'm saying? I just want to make sure I get this out to you and make sure that you all, know what's going down. Because we only got one life to live, folks. And I got to fix the links down there. My little Doc Rio's a little bit too small. But, we only got one life to live. We only got a short time to live it. You know what I mean? I got a long time to live it. I got a long lifeline. For those who want to know, I got a long lifeline. I should have elected that when I was young because I used to fear I was going to die. I got a long lifeline. I used to fear I was going to die when I was young. I really did. I thought I was going to die young. And somebody told me, they looked at my hand and said, no, you got a long lifeline. You might have had in your past lives. Now, this person was practicing Buddhism. Actually, the autobiography of a yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda was what they were reading from and getting these concepts from and their ideas. And I don't want to negate anybody's belief, Dr. Delarkin. Rest in peace, brother. But yeah, he very wealthy teacher. He was a teacher out of high school and he was wealthy. Actually, half the teachers out of high school were wealthy. Weird. We had a wealthy high school and they all worked somewhere in the industry, did some kind of thing somewhere. And this was my Spanish teacher, Dr. Delarkin, who taught us about Buddhism and about the way of life and about reaching forward and about our abilities and our minds and how powerful we are. He was just trying to, spread that wealth, but not trying to really instill it in people, but just, hey, if you want to learn more, ask me more questions. I'll tell you more about it. And so we did. I did. And he talked about some of my fears. He literally talked about some of my fears without even really knowing me. He blurted them out by holding my hand after 5 minutes. And I was like, wow, how did he know I thought I was going to die before this age? How did he know I was going to do this and that? And how did he know that I'm going to live longer? Well, come to find out, I lived past 21. I'm here now. And as I look down this line, I see there's another crack in the road that something might happen where I might lose my life. Well, yeah, or that could be when I fell through the glass table. But, whatever it may be, it's a long road. It goes all the way down to my wrist. So I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I don't necessarily prescribe to it, but, hey, I subscribe to the idea of meaning that I might live a long life, but, that's going to be painful when I get old. I was in the military, so I got to think about that. But anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. That's pretty much all I want to talk about. Make sure you stop fearing loss. Take that voyage, take that journey, take action, and double down. Because when you double down, you make sure that you make sure that you're successful. You make sure that you have what you need to be successful. Don't double down on toilet tissue. Hey, no problem, motherfucker. No problem. Anytime, man. Anytime. Thanks for the sparks, man. Thanks for the sparks. You know what I'm saying? So who we gonna host after this one before I get on out of here? I don't know. I'm gonna have to check out and see who's on. You on, motherfucker? You drawing art? You know what I'm saying? Show people what making commissions all about. You know what I'm saying? Because folks like him are sitting back making commissions from home, trying to do work, trying to make sure they fill their pockets with stuff that they need to get done. You know what I'm saying? That's what you need to be doing, not sitting back. I mean, if you're playing a video game and you streaming it and you trying to make money off of that, yeah, but not just sitting back playing a video game, fall asleep on the couch with your mouth all wide open. Do that this week, I do that. No. This ain't Dazed and Confused. This is get your act together, folks. You know what I'm saying? Setting things up. See? You know what I'm saying? He be streaming. You know what I'm saying? He drawing, he doing art, trying to make commission. He got a group of people he be doing this. So if you haven't checked out, I give a shout out to Mother Flocker right now. Mother Flocka. I gotta spell it right. Because I'm on something else right now. Give a shout out to Mother Flocka right now. You know what I'm saying? You know, check him out. You know what I'm saying? There's his link right there. Go by his page and watch his show. You know what I'm saying? Watch him chill and draw art. I catch him every once in a while. I called him the other morning, but I didn't even know he was on. I was talking to him in Discord, and I turned around. I was like, oh, you on right now? You know what I'm saying? He's helping me out right now. He's drawing a new mini doc, so check that out if you want to. And I will see y'all soon, folks. Stay tuned for more In the Hot Box with Doc Rio. This lesson's going to be coming out in about 3 weeks. 3 weeks. So stay tuned for Take Action. Take Action's coming out this weekend. We're going to put that on YouTube. It's already on YouTube. I just want to go through it before I redistribute it. And stay tuned for anything else we got coming along. If you like what you see in this channel, stop by, smash that follow button or smash that subscribe button if you're on YouTube, or smash that follow button on Periscope, and make sure on YouTube and on Mixer you hit that bell over there next to it for future notifications, because we're going to keep coming on. We're going to keep coming back, even with my hip out of place, you know what I'm saying, my old age coming around the block, you know what I'm saying? We're going to keep coming back. We're going to keep making these lessons free for you, doing these webinars. It may take 2 hours for me to do the webinar, but when I break them down to real lessons, they're going to be much smaller, much smaller. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you soon, folks. I'm out of here. Peace. Real TV.